Hey, so I'm making this video because this is something that really changed my life, and I want to share it in a format where you can watch it over and over and I don't have to draw it in front of you or be on the phone or explain it. So this is going to be incredibly useful for you. So stop whatever you're doing and pay attention. This is time management. It's from the book 7 Habits of Highly Successful People by Covey. Not my idea, but I applied it to my life, and I'm going to show you how, break it down for you in case you haven't read it, and show you how I applied it and how it was a game changer for me. So you have 4 different quadrants here. Quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. The first quadrant is urgent and important. The second quadrant is not urgent, but it's still important. The third quadrant is not important, but it's urgent. And the fourth quadrant is not urgent and not important. So in order to keep track of your KPIs and where you're spending your time, this is the breakdown. Anything in this quadrant and this quadrant is something that you want to prioritize. Anything down here is things that you kind of want to avoid or delegate. So up here you have things that are going to be making you money. It's urgent, you need to do it now, you need to go to a meeting that has an ROI, you have a prioritized to-do list. For example, you might have 3 things every day. These are non-negotiable items that you must get done no matter what. This is my absolute, I have to do these things, they're the most important. Prioritize. Anything that makes you money, anything that's like really important and really urgent. Then you have this section down here which is not important, but it's still urgent. So the difference between quadrant 1 and quadrant 3 is that most people spend their time in quadrant 3 thinking they're in quadrant 1, which means that they're busy but not productive. And this is how a lot of time escapes us, right? So what you're gonna wanna do is make a to-do list and then make a prioritized to-do list. That's the difference. So anything in quadrant 3 could include people calling you and wanting to talk and catch up during the day, which is great, but it's not super important or urgent. It's urgent because they're calling you and they're demanding your time. This could be emails, this could be meetings that may or may not have an ROI. This could be anything like cleaning or doing laundry or something that's, you know, it's urgent, like you need to do it, but it's not super important, like it's not making you money. So then you have this beautiful quadrant over here, which is important, but it's not urgent. So what does that mean? Working out, calling and developing relationships, spending time with people that really matter to you, manifesting and envisioning your ideal life, what you really want, journaling, writing, reading, anything that's developing yourself intellectually or spiritually or emotionally. So if you're familiar with my 4 quotients video, I have something called personal development where we have physical, intellectual, emotional intelligence, and spiritual purpose. Anything that's not urgent but is really important is things that you need to make time for. And this is why it's important to recognize, because if you're not intentionally designing your life, it will happen to you by default. So this is your design and this is your default, which leads me to the last quadrant, which is the quadrant that you want to stay out of at all costs. This is not urgent and not important. So that means watching TV, scrolling on Instagram, going on dates with people that you are not serious about, right? Like spending time with people that are not contributing to your business or your personal development. You know, this is just wasting time, this quadrant. And most people, they get stuck here. They get stuck watching TV for hours. You know, they don't even know what happened. Like, what happened to today? It just disappeared. What did I even do today, right? Because they're not keeping track of how many hours you're spending in each quadrant. So this is really critical to your success. Time is the only thing that's going to separate the 6, 7, 8, 9-figure entrepreneurs from everyone else, because we all have the same amount of it, and it's really precious. So at the end of the day, you know, it's really crazy that we are alive and we get to spend this time, and how you spend it is everything. So I keep track every day. At the end of my day, in my journal, I make a little square and I write down how many hours I spent in each quadrant, and I try to optimize that. I hope this was helpful to you. I hope you implement this, and if you want to see an example of how I implemented this journal got me through a really tough time. If you want to know about it, happy to open up to you about it later. But while I'm on your time, I'm just going to show you what it looks like. So every single day, the first thing I do when I wake up is I write down 3 things that I'm grateful for. After that, I write down my top 3 non-negotiable items. These are things that are getting done today no matter what. Then I time block my schedule and I just write down what I'm doing every day. At the end of the day, I write down wins, things to improve on, and where I spent my time by the hour in which quadrant. So on this day, I spent 4 hours working, 4 hours doing personal development, 2 hours doing other things that needed to get done. So keeping track of your time and optimizing it, making sure you're spending it in the right areas is really critical to your success. So implement this, keep track of this, and just have awareness of where you're spending your time. Apply this to your life too so that you can optimize it.